Africa over new COVID-19 variant. President Trump pardons more allies, sparking fresh outrage. Details of these and more after this break. I am Esther Mohammed. Now the news in detail. The United Nations says the town of Bambari in the Central African Republic has been retaken from rebels who seized it on Tuesday. A spokesperson said UN peacekeepers and national security forces were in control, having pushed the militants back into the bush. He said civilians who had fled the fighting were starting to return. The Central African Republic is due to hold elections on Sunday. The government has accused the former president of joining up with armed groups in an attempt to stage a coup. He has since denied the allegation. Russia and Rwanda have sent hundreds of additional troops to bolster the government as the rebels try to advance towards the capital, Bangui. And now to the United States, where United Kingdom Health Minister Mark Hancock says Britain on Wednesday introduced restrictions on travel from South Africa over the spread of another new variant of COVID-19. The restrictions, which applied with immediate effect, were introduced following the discovery of 2 cases of virus strain in Britain. The health minister said all individuals in the UK who had contracted the variant originating in South Africa had been placed in quarantine, as well as their close contacts. The discovery of cases of what officials believe is a new, more transmissible variant of the COVID-19 in the UK follows the announcement last week that a new strain had spread throughout the south of England. In response to the growing number of COVID-19 cases, Britain ordered a series of COVID-19 restrictions across the affected areas. More than 50 nations also imposed their own travel restrictions on the UK, including France. With more than 68,000 deaths from the virus, the United Kingdom is one of the hardest hit countries in Europe. And now to the United States, where the United States President Donald Trump issued new pardons on Wednesday for allies, including the father of his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and 2 confidants caught up in the probe into Russian meddling in the 2016 election that brought him to power. The pardons added to a long list he has granted in the remaining days in office has sparked fresh outrage. Among those pardoned were Charles Kushner, who pleaded guilty to charges including tax evasion and witness tampering in 2014, as well as former campaign manager Paul Manafort and longtime advisor Roger Stone. The 3 were among 26 people pardoned and 3 who had all or part of their sentences commuted by President Trump on Wednesday. They came only a day after Trump pardoned another 15 people and commuted sentences for 5, including corrupt Republican congressmen and security guards convicted of killing 14 civilians in a 2007 Baghdad massacre. Trump's pardon of Manafort, who was at the heart of the investigation by Special Prosecutor Robert Mueller into allegations of Russian interferences in the election 4 years ago, triggered fury that Trump was trying to erase the probe he had always described as a witch hunt. Ethiopia's Human Rights Commission said more than 100 people have been killed by unknown attackers in a village in the western part of the country. A nurse at a local clinic told reporters that more than 30 people had been admitted in the facility, including some in a critical condition. The nurse added that some of the victims were shot, while others were stabbed. Wednesday's attack came a day after a visit by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. In a statement, the Ethiopian Human Rights Commission said the attack took place in the village of Bakejo, which lies in an area home to multiple ethnic groups. The region has witnessed at least 4 deadly attacks since September, including a gun attack on a passenger bus in November that killed 34 people. And that's KUFM's news around the world. Before we go, a quick recap of the headlines. United Nations retakes Central African Republic town from rebels. United Kingdom imposes travel restrictions on South Africa over new COVID-19 variant. And finally, President Trump pardons more allies, sparking fresh outrage. Do remember that the continuity of Nigeria is a collective responsibility. Be sure to play your part. Do not forget you can listen to us anywhere in the world by visiting our website at www.kufm.net or download our mobile app from the Google Play Store. We are also live on YouTube at KUFM Nigeria, and you can also listen to us on RadioGarden.com. KUFM's news around the world was produced by Blessing Asekome. I am Esther Mohammed saying thanks for listening. Good afternoon.
KUFM.
However your workday goes, we got a song for that.
KUFM 92.7.
See, the same way people are talking about the Civil War, the Biafra War, all of that. That's the same way you and I are going to tell our children and our children's children about how we survived 2020. The pandemic, protests, a couple of other things that happened this year. We all should be grateful. And that's the heart that I carry around. Merry Christmas. Be grateful for all the miracles of 2020 and be hopeful for 2021.
May your days be merry and bright, and may the reason for the season reflect in your heart. This is Star Girl wishing you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. I love you. I love you.